beautiful people. It's so good to see you again for today's 11 a.m. Productivity and Office Organizing Facebook Live. I'm Suzanna Kaye with Spark Organizing, and I do this every Thursday, 11 a.m. And we talk about organizing in your office, we talk about productivity, all of those things that affect either your workday or your efficiency. I'm so glad you're here. Today's topic is time management basics. And these are my favorite basic time management techniques that I use all the time, and I teach my coaching clients these basics pretty much first right off the bat. These are the ones that you may have heard of a few before, you may not have understood what they were or you use them, but there might be a few in there that you have not heard of and that could be useful for you. Let's hop right in with some of my top 4 basic time management techniques that I love. The first one, you may have heard of the book called Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. This book is fantastic, so if you've not read it yet, I encourage you to read the whole book. But here is the concept in a nutshell. Very fine, very overview. Do the biggest, nastiest task on your list first. So eating the frog, the purpose of this concept is to overcome procrastination and to focus on your priorities and get the most important things done. By eating that ugliest, nastiest frog of a task first, you can get that off of your list for the day. I don't know about you, but if I have something I'm not looking forward to doing during the day, it is usually something I'm going to build up throughout the day. And in my brain, it's going to become more and more of a big, nasty, ugly toad. It gets more warts as the day goes on, and I just keep imagining it going worse than it's supposed to go, or taking longer, or being harder. And by the end of the day, I've put it off so much because I've built it up to be something that it's not. Something really big and huge when it started off the day, cute little frog. By doing it first, not only do you not have that time to build it up into more warts and more ugliness, but also you start off your day with success. This way you start on a positive note. You did the worst thing on your entire list first. There's nothing else in your day that will be worse than that. It makes the whole rest of the day seem pretty easy and you feel amazing. You feel like you've already won something and you're headed towards the finish line first thing. So eat that frog early in the day, the earlier the better. It also helps you focus on your priorities because you've had to figure out which task is the biggest, the ugliest, the wartiest. And usually it's a task that fits within a priority that you're really working towards. Otherwise you would not care. It would not be that big of a deal. But by identifying which one is the frog, you've already identified that it probably leads towards one of those really big goals, or else you would avoid it altogether and it would never have made it onto your list. So you've already hit one major priority first thing in your day too. It's amazing how this is such an energy boost, a mood lifter, just by eating the frog. Next is batching. I'm pretty sure that you've heard me use the term batching before. I even wrote a blog post on it. And the concept is doing similar tasks at the same time. For example, if you have your to-do list and on it you have computer work, emails, phone calls, and some projects, those are 4 different types of tasks. If you were to hop from phone call to email to computer work to project to phone call and keep going back and forth one task at a time, your brain has to process what you're doing at each point. So a phone call is different from an email. Your brain has to take an extra minute to flip into email mode and into writing mode versus speech mode. It's not that big of a deal when it's just once or twice, but if you're doing that all day, that drains your mental energy because it's just wasting that little bit of time as your brain catches up and your brain's working harder switching between tasks. Not only that, but it takes a little bit longer. Going from looking up a contact in your phone and making that phone call to opening up the email to going to the project task, each time you're moving, you're opening new things. If you can just be within one system and do a bunch of things within that system at once, which is called batching, creating batches of similar tasks, that will reduce your need to process this information. It's going to make it a lot more efficient, and your brain will be a lot less stressed out. You can focus more. One of the ways I do this is within my task list, I actually have it broken out by what it is. So this would be the emails in my list. These would be some of the computer work on my list. Now normally this sits on my computer and this is my digital list. Within my schedule itself, I simply have what batch I will be working on when. So you can see on this day between 9 and 10 a.m. I'm working on emails. So I can work down that email list. Between 10 and 11 I'm working on phone calls. I can work down that phone calls list. And within my digital to-do list, I've labeled which of these batches each task falls in. So I can quickly pull up just that label and work down that list. It helps so much. It saves me so much time and mental energy by just being able to pound out all those phone calls and then not worry about phone calls for a little while. Pound out those emails, and then I can close that email client for a while and not go back to it until later in the day when it's on my schedule again. It's a huge help. After batching, you've heard me talk about fire time. I've explained it briefly, but fire time, just to go over it really quickly because it is such a huge concept, is basically planning for things to go wrong, but expecting that they won't. So it's still a positive mindset because we are expecting to be able to use this time to do some of those things that we never get to do. By expecting this to have a positive outcome, it does not weigh us down mentally. And if you believe in law of attraction and all of those things, then it does not negatively impact you mentally. You can actually look forward to using that time for some of these great things that are going to be able to get done that never get done on your list. But fire time is blocking off a period of time for if things do go wrong, if something catches fire, you have time in your schedule to put it out without it completely derailing you and making everything in your schedule back up and you miss doing some things that you plan to do that day. So block off a time of your day, depending on how your day runs. It could be 30 minutes, it could be an hour. I wouldn't say more than an hour because then it becomes inefficient. But block off a time on your day for things to basically catch on fire and be dealt with. And then if something does go wrong, you've got that hour buffer. Everything else does not get all stacked up and not completed. And if nothing goes wrong, that's when you get to write those thank you notes that you don't get around to. You get to clean up your email inbox because it's getting a little bit cluttered. You get to do all of those things that are on that one day list that will never actually happen because we never have time to do these things. So that's how I get those things done. And that's part of my one bite at a time sort of mentality of if I can use that fire time to do some of these little bites like cleaning up my inbox or filing some of my digital files and cleaning some of that up or just tidying the office. If I just do little bites, then it all maintains itself really easily without a huge project day. Fire time is great for that. And my final absolute favorite concept is top 3. Top 3 helps you identify and work on your priorities. Now, at any one time on our to-do list, we probably have 20 things that we could say are a priority. Now, if you have to narrow it down to which top 3 are the most important in your day, that's really going to make you focus on what is going to get you to your goal the fastest or avoid the most damage. So that report that your boss needs by the end of the day, or he's going to be really upset and it could cost you either a promotion or things like that, that's probably one of those top priorities. That's avoiding the damage. Now, something that's working you towards one of your goals, like I have my 365 project that we're launching on October 26th. So I have a number of really important deadlines that are leading up to that. Those are working me towards one of my major goals that's going on right now, which is 365. That's one of my top projects at the moment. And I can identify that those tasks need to be done before some of these other tasks that seem important, but really are not moving me as close to my most urgent goal as the tasks that are on that project. So by identifying the top 3 priorities out of everything, which 3 are going to get me closest to my most important goals and align with what my values are and where I'm going with my business or my day and my life, or avoid the most damage, paying my taxes on time, those are going to be your top 3. Identify your top 3, and then if you have one of those lovely lists like this, what I do is I will then highlight which 3 things are the most important to complete. Once I have those highlighted, I am going to only work on the top 3 priorities. The rest of them I've already decided are not as important, so my brain can let them go. I don't have to worry about what's not getting done because they are not as important as what is getting done. Then, as I complete items, once I complete one of my items, I then look at the list and I decide what is the next highest priority, and I highlight that. Now that means I always have 3 items highlighted. At any one time, there are 3 things on my list that I know are the most important things. So I never run out of things to do, but I'm always working on my top priority. And by crossing one off, I get to work on the next top priority and let go of the rest of it until I'm done. Using the top 3 really will move you faster to your goals and get more done that's more important faster. So that is why this one is my favorite tool that I use all the time, especially when my list is usually, if I'm using my brain dump list, it's over 100 things long. If I'm using a one-day list, it's 20 things long, and there's no way to get through all 20 of those in one day. So at the end of the day, I feel good because I know I did not get through all 20, but I got through the most important on the list. I hope these helped you out. If they helped you, or if you enjoyed this, please share this video. Share it on your timeline, tag some friends who you think might find this interesting. Share it to a group if you have any groups on Facebook or outside of Facebook that would enjoy this. I love to help people become more productive in their day and to be more efficient. So I hope that you can share this with people who will also find it useful. Also, I would love to hear whatever I did not mention that you find useful. In the comments below, please let me know what tricks you use to make your day more efficient, or if you use these, how does it work for you? Do you enjoy it? Is there anything that maybe I did not mention that you can add to the conversation? So fill it out in the comments below. Again, I'm Suzanna Kaye with Spark Organizing. I am an organizer and I have a team of organizers throughout Central Florida. We also do virtual organizing, and I do public speaking and productivity coaching. Thank you so much, Holly. I'm so glad to hear that this helped you. Working the list is one of the things that my coaching clients come to me with as an issue the most often. The list is never going to be done. It just might be done as much as possible with the best priorities. That fits into my productivity coaching, and also if you wanted to find out more about me or Spark Organizing, stop by my website. It's sparkorganizing.com, and in the bottom right corner, you can sign up for our newsletter. In the newsletter, you'll find some things that we don't necessarily share on Facebook or online. They're kind of a more premium information for you. So make sure you sign up for that newsletter to get all of the really good benefits of the tips and tricks and information. Thank you so much. I will see you next week, again, Thursday, 11 a.m. for our productivity. If you want to find out more about organizing around the house, Tuesday evenings at 8 p.m. we talk about home organizing, and on Wednesday we're finishing up our special series on organizing after loss and how to deal with all the stuff that's left after somebody has passed away. That's Wednesday at 6 p.m. and it's the last one this Wednesday, so I hope that you can join me, or if you know somebody who needs it, please share that with them too. I hope you have a wonderful day. I will see you next week, if not sooner. Bye.